This week, we're only going to bring you guys audio. We did have some technical difficulties this week, so we still wanted to bring you guys the season finale. We released it in audio only. I hope you could bear with us. When we do come back on March 26th, we're going to come back to video and audio. Once again, we're sorry, but we hope you enjoy the season finale. Thank you guys.
Welcome everybody to NFC North West Coast Edition. This is it. This is our season finale. Football is over. Sad.
Yeah,
sad.
it felt like it got here so quick and the season just went so fast.
I agree. Well, let's wrap up the 2025 NFL season. And of course, we have to start with the big game, the Super Bowl. And I mean, if you didn't watch it, no, I won't say that. Anyway, the final score was Seahawks 29, Patriots 13.
If you're listening to this podcast and not watching the Super Bowl, thank you guys. We appreciate you, but damn.
Yep. Well, that's not what I was going to say, but
I know.
Initial reactions to the game.
What game? That was the Benita Bowl. That was the Bad Bunny Bowl because that game was so boring that it was saved by the concert. This is the first time that I'm going to say the concert was the main thing because that game sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty boring. I mean...
And it's not the Seahawks' fault. This is strictly on Drake, what's his name? I forgot his full name.
I mean, overall it was boring.
Yeah, it was a boring-ass game.
Jason Myers was like the MVP for the first...
3 quarters.
Yeah, 3 quarters.
Quarters.
I mean, it was 19-0 in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
That's a terrible Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
If the Bears were in it, I would have been like, we got a game here, folks. But no. It's like so bad. So bad.
I mean, everything that we talked about the Patriots came to fruition. We said the second that they actually go against an actual defense that has some competent coaching and offense, they're going to get steamrolled. And they did. They got steamrolled.
Yeah, that was sort of like the interesting thing about the playoffs this year is there are a lot of like, and I mean typically there is, but especially on the AFC side, like most of those defenses were like top 10 defenses, but it was the offenses that, I mean, and this is why I think they got so lucky with not playing the Bills in the playoffs because obviously the Bills offense is very proficient. And then, going against the Broncos who obviously didn't have their starting quarterback, but I mean, before we go into the past, like let's talk about the game itself. And I mean, it was a boring game. There wasn't a lot of flashy plays. There wasn't a lot of like back and forth. Clearly, the score kind of makes you feel like it got interesting at one point. Because what was it like? I forget. 19. I don't know. They like pulled it in within 2 scores.
Yeah,
at some point,
and then he threw a pick.
Yep.
And it pretty much sealed the whole game.
Yeah, and I mean, most people knew that it was going to be a defensive battle, but
not like that.
Yeah. So, I mean,
the funny part is that the whole narrative on Sam Darnold has been that he's always seen ghosts because of one viral moment where whoever the NFL film person for that day was, whoever had the audio, because they're the ones that choose what they release. They set that dude up for failure for that.
Yeah.
They should not have released him saying, I'm seeing ghosts.
Yep. So because I do want to do a little bit of quarterback comparison, right, in the game, but I want to give flowers to Kenneth Walker. Well-deserved MVP. Absolutely.
He's such a quiet dude, right? He's so mild-mannered. I love the dude. I don't like anybody else on that team. But I do love the dude. And he got the parade to go to Disneyland. So the most mild dude, kind of shy, was just they celebrated him in all of Disneyland. So it was kind of cute though. There's
great.
videos of it.
That's great. Yeah. So I mean, and I love the fact of someone other than a QB winning the Super Bowl MVP because it feels like every year it's just always the quarterback. But I mean, if it weren't for him, I don't know. I don't think the Seahawks win this game because let's see. 27 carries for 135 yards. That's like half their yards, if maybe more than half. I don't have those stats though, sorry. 2 receptions for 26 yards.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, no touchdowns, but clearly he was the driving force for that offense all day long.
Oh, yeah.
And
He deserved the MVP.
yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. A little part of like the chaotic side of me wanted Jason Myers to win.
That would have been funny.
It would have been funny.
I would have enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
But I do have a fun fact here specifically about our Super Bowl MVP. So cue me up. Ooh!
First time I got it correct.
All right, our fun fact of the day. So Kenneth Walker was actually first contacted at or behind the line of scrimmage on 15 of his 27 carries. So more than half of his carries, he was contacted behind or at the line of scrimmage and still rushed for 135 yards.
See? It just tells you how great he is.
Yeah, insane.
I do got a fun fact about the Super Bowl as well.
Oh, okay.
It's
about the halftime show?
It is. The halftime show, it is now the second most viewed halftime show in the history of the NFL. Only second to last year's Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. And you know what? I enjoyed both those halftime shows, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yep. I was even seeing the views from Michael Jackson when he did the halftime show, and for him to have that high of numbers back when it was performed is literally amazing.
Yeah, and one day we'll probably do like which ones we think are the best, because I mean I put this one up there.
Nothing will be better than Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake.
Fuck Justin for that day. I mean, real quick, I think that Prince's halftime show is one of the best.
Oh, yeah.
Purple Rain in the Rain.
Yeah, we've had some really good ones, though.
We've had some ones, too, though.
Yeah, that's true. But I had to bring up the
Black Eyed Peas. Just, ugh. Anyways, that's not what this is about. We'll come back to this.
Oh, yeah. We could be here all day talking about that. Okay, so let's talk about the quarterback comparison, because, we have to. We have to, right? Sam Darnold, 19 for 38, 202 yards, 1 touchdown. Only had 1 sack against also a very good Patriots team for an 8-yard loss. So 74.7 rating, which normally you'd be like, awful, not that good. But
he did special.
But he did what he needed to do, right? He didn't turn over the ball, and that was the big difference maker in the game.
He moved the ball enough to get to a point where they could get in field goal position.
Yep.
And I think at some point, the Seahawks knew that the Patriots just couldn't move the ball.
Yep.
So they were just content. And this situation, this is the kind of times that we say, just take the points. And they knew it. They knew it. What the hell was the point of risking anything?
That's a great point. See what happens when you take the points? Saying. Drake May. Now, see, this is why I don't like stats, because it's a little bit inflated, right? Because obviously the script at the end is keep throwing it.
Garbage time.
Yep. 27 out of 43. So from a completion percentage, not terrible. 295 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, 5 carries for 37 yards, 6 sacks for a loss of 43 yards, and a 79.1 rating. So even though he has the higher QB rating, clearly Sam Darnold was the better quarterback. You
needed in this game for either team a quarterback. It sounds like a disrespectful thing, but you needed a system quarterback, because this wasn't we're going to be able to be lights out against these other defenses. So just don't turn the ball over, get me into good position, and that's it.
Well, and I think that's why it was a boring game, to be honest, is because neither team really has that spark type player, and don't get me wrong. Like, obviously we talked about Kenneth Walker, and he's a very efficient runner, but he's not that type of spark plug that you see with Jahmyr Gibbs, or Bijan Robinson. And from, the receiving perspective is, of course, JSN, great player.
Probably one of the best ones right now.
Yeah, offensive player of the year, I think.
Yeah.
But it wasn't needed because of, just like you said, the Seahawks were content with moving the ball on the ground.
Yeah.
And then taking the points, because clearly the Patriots offense was not showing that they could move the ball consistently.
Or protect Drake May.
Yep.
That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to forget it 2 more times.
And again, we talked about it, when we made our predictions. Drake May hasn't been particularly
No,
impressive in the playoffs.
no.
And, you look at his regular season, efficient, system quarterback, leaned on having a great defense. And,
Almost got MVP.
yeah, that's the other crazy part for me. It's like, I don't know. I don't know.
That he almost got it, or that
That
they
he was the runner up for
yeah.
MVP.
Yeah, I don't think he should have been.
Yeah, that's the crazy part to me is because you're comparing Matthew Stafford with Drake May, and if you're looking at their seasons, okay, number wise, sure, but I just I,
I'm gonna say this right now. I think that, and I kind of said it before. We've talked about this too. You've said the same thing. Whoever made the Super Bowl was gonna win because if it's the Patriots, we weren't scared of them. If it was the Broncos, again, you could be scared of their defense, but they don't have Bo Nix.
yeah,
So it was almost a guarantee that the NFC was gonna win this one.
yeah,
Which the guy that put in those 30, I don't know if you heard about this. This guy put $33,000
mm-mm,
for the Seahawks to win, and
mm,
he posted it on TikTok. He's like, "Guys, I don't know if I did something dumb, but this is my life savings. It took me so long to
my
save
God,
this, and if I win, I get, I think it was $53,000. So it would have been a $20,000 win. And if he loses,
which
he
is
loses 33,000.
That's
But
just
I'm like, it is
crazy.
not a good return
Yeah, I
investment
know.
in that situation. He got it. Good for him.
Yeah,
But damn,
yeah,
gambling's getting
yeah,
wild.
yeah. The risk versus reward was.
Not worth it.
Yeah, definitely not worth it in my opinion. I mean, one thing that I will say that as a Bears fan, made me feel a little bit better is because obviously there's been a lot of comparisons with Drake May and Caleb Williams this
Yeah.
year. Last year it was Jaden Daniels and Caleb Williams. Everyone's always going to compare it to
Same
Caleb
class,
Williams.
right?
Yep, same class. And I'm still picking Caleb in the draft over Drake. I'm
If
not
you,
saying Drake May is a bad quarterback.
oh no, I'm with you.
I'm
I think the conversation should be shifted to two quarterbacks. And it's the two quarterbacks we always bring up. It's Jaden and it's Caleb. I think Jaden had the better playoff run,
Mhm.
but he's more injury prone, as we
Mhm.
can see right now.
Yep.
Athletic wise, and the type of plays that Caleb could do, he's a freak.
Yeah.
So if you're telling me if you're going that direction, I get it. I'm gonna go Caleb too, though. If I had to choose between those four.
Yep. So speaking of I don't. Okay, we kind of know what our opinions on Drake May is. Again, I think he is going to be a solid quarterback. He's going to play for a long time. But what do you think this Super Bowl win means for Sam Darnold now?
I think that it's not even just for Sam Darnold. I think he changed the narrative for so many other quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Because the whole talk has always been, if you don't make it in the first 3 years, you're not going to make it. That's it. And historically, it was kind
Yeah.
of true, right?
Yep.
But in the last 4 years, we've been seeing these quarterbacks that have resurgence. And Sam Darnold is the poster child for that.
Yeah, I 100% agree. And I can't help but sit here and think about Minnesota fans.
Yeah.
They're
They're
and
punching it
we'll
right now.
yeah, and we'll talk about it in a couple weeks, when we return and we have the entire NFC North back on the show. But I truly believe that's why Kwesi got fired.
Yeah.
It's because now in hindsight, you let this guy walk and he just took another team not only to the Super Bowl, but won the Super Bowl
Yeah.
with, and we talked about it a couple weeks ago, almost the
Exact team.
exact identity of the team.
Yeah.
Makeup wise, obviously not player wise, but makeup wise, and
I-
star receivers, star
Yup.
defense, fast defense, can put pressure on the quarter. I mean,
If-
it's just
If anything, the Vikings have a better offense. They may not have the same caliber defense, but pretty close. It's close enough. If you would have given him one more year in that offense, we might be talking about the Vikings winning the Super Bowl.
Yep. And not only that though, but you look at two super tough divisions. The NFC North and the NFC West, from a competitive standpoint, to me, are two of the best divisions in football.
Oh yeah.
And
Hands
again, if Sam Darnold could do that in that super tough division, you can't help but think, what would he have you done in the NFC North? And
Oh, yeah.
and so I do feel for Vikings fans. Obviously you never know, but it's definitely got a sting, right? Especially in what he did his lone year in Minnesota of basically taking them on that playoff run. So I don't know. I'm with you though. I think that he really has proven the point of you can always change the narrative. It's
Yeah.
about the right coaches, it's about the right teams, and it's about the right opportunity. And, you obviously, Sam Darnold, I can't help but think looking at his stats, like it's not that he played conservative, but he knew he had to take care of the
Yeah.
football and he didn't have any risky throws.
No.
And so kudos to him for understanding situational football.
I mean, it's weird, right? Because I did have a joke in line. I didn't know how to structure it, and I don't think I need to.
Mm.
But I was gonna be something like, "Oh, it's funny how like the narrative of one of the draft picks recently was that their USC quarterback that couldn't win the first year or couldn't do much in the first year, and they ended up being so successful in 2025, and it was supposed to be kind of like a tie-in with Caleb." But it's a weird joke because I never expected Sam Darnold to be the first USC quarterback to win a Super Bowl. I expected Caleb Williams to be the
Yeah.
first, not happily, but the first quarterback from USC to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Now the narrative or the talk is that Sam Darnold did it. He broke the curse.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I can't help but feel bad also for Josh Allen.
Yeah. Because
'Cause-
he's that class, right? Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about him being terrible in his first few years as well.
Yeah.
So, everybody was ready to throw the towel in with Josh Allen, and he kept at it. He kept working. And, I look at the Patriots' way to the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, I can't. And the other thing I keep thinking about is the throw.
Yeah.
I can't remember
Was it the
now.
pick?
No. The one where they called it
Oh,
incomplete,
yeah, yeah.
I just
Where-
can't
where-
help that they got oh my
I-
gosh. It just sucks,
There's
man.
a
It sucks.
podcaster on YouTube that I like listening to. He has the Lock on Packers podcast, but he brought up a whole episode how sometimes winning a Super Bowl is luck. If
Mhm.
no one wants to hear it, you
Mhm.
don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. But sometimes it's luck,
Yeah.
and luck has to do with a lot of factors like injuries, a call that doesn't go your way, and sometimes you need luck. Every team needs luck. You need your players not to get injured. That is a lucky thing because it's so unlucky when it happens. You can't predict it. But sometimes it runs out, and sometimes you get to the point you win a Super Bowl. Look at the Patriots. Their luck led them to a Super Bowl. Look at the Seahawks. They were lucky enough. They lost Charbonnet, right?
Yep.
But they still had a backup not a backup. They had their main starter,
Yeah.
who's still a solid running back. That's a lucky thing to have another running back.
Yeah, and I mean that's another great point is the majority of the season the Seahawks used a 1-2 punch with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. And that only makes you think like, well, once Zach went out, it's different than having a workhorse in Kenneth Walker. His body, even though of course have went through the entire season, is still going to be ready to go versus other teams that
only have one.
That do their workhorse quarterbacks.
Like Josh Jacobs.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, since we're kind of talking about this, do you team-wise, right? Do you think that both of these teams are built to return next year, like go on another run next year?
Not the Patriots. I think that the Patriots don't have the makeup, and they're not going to have that easy of a route to get to the Super Bowl. I do think the Seahawks have a chance.
Yeah. Yeah.
With that
I'm with
defense?
you. No, I'm with you. I think when I was like thinking about this, it was interesting to me because I feel like if Seattle didn't have home field advantage the entirety of the playoffs, they wouldn't have gone to the Super Bowl.
Agreed.
That's my opinion.
I think the Rams beat them in LA.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think that had the Patriots not had their path, like we're saying, I also don't think they make it to the Super Bowl. So I'm with you in that sense of like,
there's luck
involved. There's luck involved, and there's always going to be. Yeah, always going to be luck involved. There's going to be good luck involved, and there's going to be bad luck involved. However, when you execute at a high level, you can tip the scale a little bit,
yeah,
right?
I do agree. I think it's a balancing act between how much skill and how much coaching you have with luck. But sometimes, regardless of what level you have, you are just so unlucky that I'll give you an example. The Packers had a great record, but you lose Micah Parsons, you lose Tucker Kraft. Those are such unlucky things that it shifts the whole trajectory of your whole season.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think for the Patriots, it's very like here's some good news, right? For the Patriots, it's Drake May's second year and he made it to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
That's great. I mean, you
Second
couldn't.
youngest, right? Second youngest
Yeah.
quarterback.
Yep. And
Only
Joe Montana, I think.
yeah.
Or was it Dan Marino?
Dan Marino.
I think. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Joe Montana was at the game. But so very encouraging, and I'm not saying they're not capable of making a run, but again, I just think that the cards really fell in their favor
Oh yeah.
this playoff run. Obviously they had a great regular season record as well that, put them in those standings. So again, that's when we say when you execute at a high level, but
I will say that their whole season and their Super Bowl could probably go back to that 2-point conversion against the Rams.
oh,
Because think about it, if they don't do that, that's why they won that game.
yeah.
If they don't do that, then the trajectory of that season where they get home field advantage might be different. So I think that's a gutsy call, by the way. End of the game, instead of going for the field goal, go for 2 against the Rams defense,
Yeah.
who we thought were a good defense, but they started. Anyways, you get the point, right?
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Didn't really think about that. Um, and I do think the Seahawks are built for a run again. It's just that division.
Yeah.
I feel like
I don't think the Niners will be as bad as they were. I mean, they were good, but with that many injuries,
yeah, a ton of injuries, especially on the defense side. So
you
yeah,
should-
we'll see.
they're trying to blame where they build the stadium at on why they have so many injuries. There's
Oh,
like a power plant there or something like that.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm thinking, first of all, you guys chose to build there. Like, that's your stupid ass fault. And second of all, that thing, you guys used to practice there even before you guys moved the stadium there.
Mhm.
So that was your practice facility. You should have known. Like, there was no injuries in the 90s the way they are now. This is more of a coaching thing
Yeah,
than it is a location thing.
yeah. I see, and I always wonder that too, because a couple years ago, like the Bears had literally it felt like every game we were
Yeah.
losing something, and I always think about that. I always think about is it our trainers or is it just bad luck, or is it the playing conditions? Because I know, a lot of people complain about the Soldier Field, and I don't blame them. Field conditions are not the best,
We'll
but
have an episode on Soldier Field.
we
And
already did.
no, like, in their move to Gary.
No, that's not gonna happen. They're gaslighting us.
They just want
I
them.
would literally strike if that happened. That'd be so embarrassing. I don't think the state of Illinois would let that happen.
I mean, that'll be funny. That'll be the biggest thing.
It would not be funny. It would be terrible.
That'll be the biggest thing for Gary since Michael Jackson.
Gosh, that's terrible. But yeah, should we talk about the halftime show a little bit, or
Yeah.
I
I loved it. I got emotional. I
yeah.
thought, did you see that all the trees were people?
No, I didn't know
Okay,
that.
so they had the sugar canes. Those
Yeah.
are just those are sugar canes.
Okay.
But the NFL has a rule that you could only have 20 carts.
Yep.
So there was no way they could get all of the forest in there in carts because they could only have 20 carts. So the way they got around it is they made every single tree a person. So they ran in, and there's videos of them running as trees, and the trees are going.
Oh,
And the
great.
people have made videos, and they said that they were like 50 pounds. Each
Mhm.
suit, each like tree is 50 pounds. So they're like running as a 50-pound tree.
Gosh, dude. Please. Yeah, I mean, I thought symbolically it was one of the best shows ever.
Yes.
And of course, I'm not bilingual, so I don't, I can understand some Spanish, but I don't speak Spanish. And as somebody just watching it, not really knowing what he was singing, I could still appreciate
Yeah.
the symbolism in it. And I can appreciate, and the other thing that I thought was really neat is all of the like vendors that he was showing were
Yes.
all real vendors.
One of them's here from LA.
And so I thought that was really great. And
Yes.
we're not on here to talk politics, okay? So I get that point, but if you can't really get behind the symbolicism of it, I mean,
I mean, the biggest message was that the only thing bigger than hate is love. And
Yeah.
that was the message. And it's not hard to get that. He showed so much love. And at the end, when he says, God bless America, and then he starts naming not just the United States, he starts
Yep.
naming every single country in all of the Americas,
Yep.
saying we're all America and God bless all of us.
Yep.
That part was like, wow. Like, he even said the United States. He said Canada. He said all
Yep.
these other places, but he was trying to show love to everyone.
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
here's the thing: speaking politics, not politics, he didn't make it political. People are trying to make it political. He's saying love trumps all. Not trying to get into puns,
Yeah.
but he didn't bring that man or any political person or statement or anything like that. All he
Yeah.
said was, "Love is the most powerful thing." In another way, another phrase.
Yep. No, I agree. And I know like there's obviously a portion of the population that is upset in the fact that it was in Spanish, but a lot of people don't realize that like the US doesn't actually have an official language.
Hmm.
So to say that speak the official language of the United States of America as English,
Yeah.
that's not official,
No.
you know? And
And
so
and he's an American
yeah,
citizen.
exactly. That was the other thing that also drew like so many people were bent out of shape beforehand of like, but he's not American. It's like he's from Puerto Rico. What do you mean? Like,
Yep.
know your geography. Know like what that is part of America.
The territory of of the United States.
Oh my gosh.
And he's an American citizen.
Yeah.
His main language is Spanish.
Yep.
But people are dumb sometimes.
Yeah. It was wild. And I was just like, I mean, I get it. I can understand, like, okay, yeah, you don't speak Spanish. I understand it. I can get it. But don't turn it into something it's not.
Yeah.
You know? And that's all I'm gonna say about it.
And here's the thing. He told a story.
Mm-hmm.
And even if we don't know these places, right? Or
Mhm.
these vendors or anything
Mhm.
like that, no matter who you are, you could speak Spanish, not Spanish, it doesn't matter. You knew you were following that story. I mean, someone got
Yeah.
married, for crying out loud.
Yeah. And I think like I mean, I had even said it at one point during the show. I was like, Kendrick Lamar was better last year. That's my opinion. That's my opinion. But again, I can appreciate what he was doing
I agree.
and what like the message,
I
right?
feel
Right?
like it's fitting that both of these are the two most watched Super Bowls because both of them, regardless of stance that you have, they both had a story to tell.
Yeah.
And it was entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not there. Again, the best Super Bowls either had a story to tell or something happened that made it more dramatic. Hence the Prince and Purple Rain in the Rain
Yeah.
in the month that doesn't rain
Yep.
in Florida.
Yep.
So those kind of stories transcend the halftime show.
Absolutely.
If you just go there to perform and you play some songs, then you get Maroon 5, which was
Mhm.
okay, but it wasn't a good Super Bowl, in my opinion, halftime show. These are stories. They're trying to include everyone in the world. Come and join us. If you want to think that love is bigger than everything else, join our message.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. But again, I'm with you.
Loved it.
Yeah.
I started crying. I'm not kidding. I started tearing up
Oh.
when they said my family's places. I was like,
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
cried. You're cried.
Yep. Yep.
Representation matters sometimes.
Absolutely.
All
I know.
the time.
Yeah. I did see like a meme though of once when Bad Bunny said Canada, somebody was like, Canada? Canada?
People were a little.
Uh,
People are thrown off by the Lady Gaga one.
yeah.
Someone online said that it was his
I
symbolism.
didn't know that was her at first, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
She did a good job. Salsa's a hard genre because your speed to try to keep up with the band is up here. So I honestly think she did a good job. But people are saying that the symbolism there is that it was this representation of how Puerto Ricans and Italians were working together to build New York, which was fitting because the song that came right after that was Nueva York or Nueva York. I can't say Nueva York. And that's one of his songs. It's all about New York. So you're like, okay, then that makes a lot of sense right there. So I'm like, I like it. I thought it was great.
Yep. Yep. Alrighty. I mean, because it was a boring game, there's just really there wasn't much like excitement, you know.
I did have a few questions that
Oh,
we could do on another
okay.
episode, or I could add it to other stuff. But
Ask away. I mean,
okay,
I don't really have anything
so
else to say about the game itself.
it's not about the game.
Okay.
We're kind of moving into the NFL season and a little few things like that. But what are your? We never talked about it, but what are your thoughts on two big members omitted from the Hall of Fame, Bill Belichick and Eli Manning? So that's my confusion. Is like, how is Bill Belichick not a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Oh, yeah.
Eli, I kind of get a little. I still think he deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. But Bill, like Bill, really? That seems more political in itself.
Yeah, Bill Belichick definitely probably should have been in it. I'm with you. Eli Manning.
Questionable. I can
Mm,
see the argument for and against. I get that. I
Yep.
see no against. Like,
Yep.
what argument can you have to not put the second most winningest coach in the history of the NFL, the most Super Bowl coach in the NFL,
hmm
the most successful playoff coach in the NFL? I
Yeah,
if
that is a strange one. I didn't know that. I don't know.
people are saying that the voters said that there was many reasons, but not many coaches make it in the first ballot. But the coaches that have, they don't even have half of his resume. So I'm kind of,
Yeah, that's interesting. I wonder if it's a statement,
I think it is.
you
It's
know?
probably because somebody said it might be because of Spygate and because of Deflategate. But here's the thing: takes that season, the Spygate season, which again I think he's a piece of shit for that. But that's one season.
Yeah.
He did that for one season, and he still won 7
Yeah.
Super Bowls.
I mean, I guess it could be argued that how do we know that nothing else was going on the rest of,
But
his
that's not
tenure?
for the Hall of Fame to decide.
No, I get
That's
that. I mean, but at the end of the day, like, there's so many. As much as we don't want to make things in a political sense,
it always is.
yeah, it always seems to come down to it. And when I say statement, I'm basically meaning like the powers that be are pretty much like, nah, we get the final say,
Yeah.
and that's what that is to me.
But I think the NFL Hall of Fame is kind of, they're not understanding that this kind of discredits the Hall of Fame a little bit,
Yeah.
because you're going to be questioning, okay, if they have the power, like it's not their accolades, if they have the power to omit someone, or I gotta use another word, they have the power not to let someone in because of their own personal views of that person, it discredits it.
Yeah.
We're here believing as fans, as players, that if you get to the highest levels of accolades in the NFL, you're going to make the Hall of Fame. But now they're saying, or you're trying to be a first ballot at the very least, right? Anyway, it's gone. But yeah, it makes me think a little bit less, not much, but just a little bit less of the NFL Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I don't really pay much attention to the Hall of Fame, to be honest.
And then, okay, so besides that, one of the concerns that I had on the Super Bowl is the commercials.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, did you notice that it was two things? It was either all AI and it was all gambling. Those are the two things. That's the majority of all the commercials. They weren't some were funny-ish, but not many.
Some were.
But here's the thing: I don't think the NFL understands
I
that.
liked the dodgeball one with
Yeah.
what's his face? Ben Stiller
Yeah.
falling
Some
off
were
the
funny.
stage.
But I think the NFL is underestimating how many people actually watch just to watch the commercials and the concert. Because yes, the reality is there are so many football fans. We all love the NFL, but there isn't 129 million people that watch it as the religious, like their fanatical way that they watch football, the way that we do.
Yeah.
Most people are casual. They want to watch some funny commercials.
Yeah.
That's what gets the NFL to be big.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if it's because they are pricing themselves out.
Probably.
Like maybe because at this point it's like pay millions for what, a 30-second slot.
6 million or 10 million, I think, now for 30
And
seconds.
so that's what I'm saying is like the companies that probably are super creative and like could put stuff together, either one, cannot afford it,
Yeah.
or two, is like, How can we cut budget? I know, use AI,
Yeah.
right? Like,
But why would you try to cut budget when you used 10 million just to get the spot?
why?
No,
Because
I'm
maybe
with you.
that's all
I'm
they
with you.
afford, like they can't.
They got pennies on
Yeah,
that.
exactly. They can't pay their people to come up with great ideas, so they're just like, okay, that's the commercial.
I just thought it was a little concerning. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
hopefully it shifts a little bit. Because in previous years, there's been some years that were bad, but most of the time you have some creative commercials. And it was like every company was trying to outdo themselves with their creativity.
Yeah.
This year was like,
Yeah, no, I can see that. I feel, and it's interesting because I feel like as I get older, I actually tune in less and less to the commercials.
I do. I mean, it's been like that for
Yeah.
me for a while too.
Yeah. So it's like I remember once upon a time I was like wanted to watch every single one, and now I'm like bathroom break,
To,
grab my beer.
the only reason I noticed was that so we were late to go because we normally go to my uncle's for the Super Bowl. He has like a little gathering, but we were late and I didn't want to miss the halftime show. So me and Amanda stayed here. So we watched the whole first half here with the halftime show. If not, everyone's screaming, everyone's talking, so you don't really get to see the commercials or hear them all that much. So I
Yeah.
kind of zone out and have conversations.
Yeah.
But I got to literally like hyper focus on all the commercials, and I was like, "Has it always been like this?"
Probably.
Yeah.
Just slowly been getting to it.
Degrading.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I again, great year. One of the best years in football in memory.
Yep.
The Super Bowl was meh.
Yeah, I guess what I learned from like personally, what I learned from watching this year, besides that I can sustain heart attacks, that's something I learned I'm capable of.
Well, I learned that I could sustain heartbreak. So
There we go. So our hearts are alive. But to me, what this year felt like was a shift away from dynasty teams.
yeah,
And I could be completely wrong in this, and I probably am, but that's what it felt like this year for me, is that I learned that especially with, the draft class 2 years ago and how many quarterbacks are now starting quarterbacks. Now with Sam Darnold paving the way to revive quarterback careers, and we could argue that Baker Mayfield did that first, right? Obviously didn't make it all the way, but he also turned around his career and pushed his team to playoff runs. It just now obviously I'm never going to discredit Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs because Andy Reid is also,
elite. He's
elite, going
top 2.
probably
close.
not a first ballot Hall of Famer now if Bill Belichick isn't, but an eventual Hall of Famer, right? And, we don't know what Patrick Mahomes coming off ACL injury is, but we've seen that with modern medicine. That doesn't mean career ending like it once has. So I can imagine him bouncing back.
Yeah.
I don't really know what the word is on Travis Kelce, but if he still plays and if it can still, word I'm looking for, contribute, that's still going to be a dominant connection in the NFL.
He's gonna set into the sunset.
Yeah, so
He's gonna he's got his show and his girl. That's what he's and his brother.
I mean, I do think he should retire, but
Yeah, he's 36, I
yeah,
think.
yep. So we'll see.
He's like 70 for
We'll
tight
see.
ends.
Yeah, and so
I'm
I'm
with you
just
though.
yeah. So that's what I personally, learned from watching this season is that
Did feel like a
turning it
shift.
around can happen in
Yeah.
any way, shape, or form. Whether you have a different coach, whether you have a different quarterback, whether you have a quarterback reviving their career, whether you have a young quarterback in their second year, but you have a great like. It just feels like
It does feel like the shift is also going in the sense it is shifting more towards the young quarterbacks
Mm.
and also to the less expensive quarterbacks.
Yep.
So I mean, Sam Darnold, he's a $30 million a year quarterback. He's not the 60 plus, and he made it. He won the Super Bowl. The kids that made it far. Think of it. Bo Nix before he got injured. You had Drake May. You had Caleb Williams. They're all under their rookie contracts.
Yep.
So the teams are able to build around them.
Yep.
So I think that's the shift that's finally happened that we've been talking about for the last 5 years. That oh yeah, your quarterback's taking too much cap. Hence Packers, sure, even though they can still spend somehow, but Packers. I think Patrick Mahomes, we saw the effect of that, right?
Yep.
They didn't have any wide receivers except for Rice,
Yep.
who ended up getting suspended, and then you saw the fall of the Chiefs because of that. And then you see all these other quarterbacks; they're getting paid so much, but the team is suffering. There's so many blatant holes because of it.
Yep.
So
100%. Yeah. So
that
I
seems
mean,
good news for the Bears, which is not great news for me.
I mean, again, we won't know. It's official. The 2026 NFL season started, the minute after the Super Bowl ended. And now, we're going to obviously, and we've already seen some of it. We're going to see the coaching carousel. We're going to see the QB carousel. We're going to see, the drama between free agent signings and extensions and
Packers haven't fired Rich Bisaccia yet.
So, all of that is gonna play out here in the next couple of months. I'm
Yeah.
already pretty sad that the Bears lost Declan Doyle. I'm happy that he's gonna get, play calling opportunities in Baltimore. But I really did think that he was like Ben's little minion and did a lot of like the dirty work per
Yeah.
se. So pretty upset, and I'm sure there's going to be potentially more Bears coaches going elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, it was a fun season. This is obviously season 1 for our podcast, and
It was a fun season.
yeah, we've come a long ass way, and
Yeah.
we appreciate everybody tuning in. And we're going to take a little break here. It's our mid-season break. What do you call that?
Our hiatus?
Yeah, but I'm like, when you're an episode like on a TV show and it's like season finale and then there's the season premiere. What do you call that time in between?
Off season. I don't know.
I mean, it is the off season. You get what I'm getting at. But yeah, this is gonna wrap up our season 1 here, and we'll have a season 2 premiere. That's tentatively March 20. Sorry, guys. March 26th. So 6-week in between season break. I don't know if that means.
We're gonna still post some like little things here, like some little snippets of stuff or some little like skits and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, we're gonna take a few weeks off.
Yeah, a few weeks off. Gonna, spend time with family and friends. And obviously, this is not our day job. So, we have other things that we need to do as well.
Sometimes it feels like
For real. But yeah, we just want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. And obviously, we'll miss you in the next couple weeks. But stay tuned for our season 2 premiere. We'll have the entire NFC North, and we're just going to go ham on the off season and cover all the breaking news and get ready to
stories and
everything.
We can start doing some of the history stuff again.
Yep, 100%. So
it'll be a fun season 2.
It is. It's going to be a great season 2. So thank you guys again. That's a wrap for 2025 NFL. It was here and then it was gone, just like that. I'm gonna miss football for sure.
I am too.
But the Olympics are on, so that's been fun.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you so much. And again, we'll see you in about 6 weeks. Love you. Deuces.